Pause for a moment and do not move on yet, because 27th December is the day when reality quietly returns and tests what actually stayed with you after the reflection, the stillness, and the settling of the past days. And this is where many people unknowingly lose what they just gained. This is the day when routine begins knocking again, when messages return, when expectations reappear, when responsibilities resume, and the danger of 27 December is not chaos, it is forgetfulness, the subtle forgetting of the posture you just learned, the forgetting of presence as you slip back into automatic living. What you do today determines whether the calm you touched becomes a foundation or just a memory. This is not a dramatic day, and that is precisely why it matters. Transformation is not proven in sacred moments alone. It is proven in ordinary ones. Today asks a simple but powerful question. Can you carry alignment into movement without abandoning it? On 27 December, life begins to speed up again, and speed exposes what was integrated and what was only felt. You may notice the familiar pull to rush, to catch up, to respond quickly, to prove productivity, to return to old pacing, and none of that is inherently wrong, but doing it unconsciously will pull you out of alignment without you realizing it. Today is about intentional re-entry, learning how to move without losing center, how to engage without absorbing pressure, how to respond without reverting to old reflexes. You are not being asked to resist life. You are being asked to enter it differently. This day teaches you that peace is not found by avoiding responsibility, but by approaching responsibility from a grounded place. Grounded action feels different in the body. It is steadier, less frantic, less emotionally charged. Pay attention to how your body responds today. If tension spikes, slow down before pushing forward. If irritation rises, pause before reacting. These are not obstacles. They are signals asking you to adjust your pace, not abandon your direction. 27 December is a bridge day, the bridge between reflection and rhythm, between inward awareness and outward engagement. Bridges require balance. Lean too far inward and you disconnect from life. Lean too far outward and you lose yourself. Balance is learned, not assumed, and today gives you practice. You may feel moments of frustration when things do not move as smoothly as you expect, and instead of interpreting that as failure, see it as calibration. Calibration is not punishment, it is fine-tuning. You are fine-tuning how you carry stress, how you handle interruption, how you protect clarity without withdrawing. This takes patience. Do not demand perfection from yourself today. Perfectionism is just urgency in disguise. What you are practicing is presence, and presence does not require flawlessness, only attention. As you move through this day, choose to do fewer things with more awareness rather than many things on autopilot. Autopilot is efficient, but it disconnects you from yourself. Awareness keeps you grounded even when tasks multiply. You will notice that doing things this way may feel slower at first, but it will feel cleaner, with less mental residue left behind. Residue accumulates when you rush. Clean movement leaves space for rest afterward. Notice how your inner dialogue behaves today. Old self-talk patterns may try to return, pushing you to criticize, to hurry, to measure yourself against unrealistic standards. Do not fight these voices aggressively. Simply do not follow them. Observation weakens habits more effectively than confrontation. You are not required to silence every unhelpful thought. You are required to choose which ones you obey. Choice is your power today. 27th. December is about reclaiming choice in motion. Not choice in theory, but choice in response, in pacing, in tone, in boundaries. You may find that saying no feels easier today, or that saying yes feels more deliberate, and that is a sign that clarity is integrating. Let it guide you quietly. You do not need to announce your boundaries or justify your choices. Boundaries enforced calmly tend to hold better than boundaries defended emotionally. As the day continues, resist the urge to overplan the future. Planning has its place, but overplanning often emerges from anxiety rather than clarity. Anxiety wants certainty immediately. Clarity unfolds progressively. Trust progressive clarity. It will not abandon you if you stop chasing it. If you feel moments of tiredness today, honor them without guilt. Tiredness does not mean you are failing. It means your system is adjusting to a new way of moving. Adjustments cost energy at first. Over time, they save it. You are investing energy now to conserve it later. This is wise. 27 December teaches you that alignment is not something you visit occasionally. It is something you practice repeatedly in small moments. Each pause before reacting, each breath before responding, each conscious choice to slow your pace slightly reinforces this new rhythm. Rhythms shape lives more than intentions ever will. As evening approaches, you may notice that the day feels fuller than expected, not because you accomplished more, but because you were more present for what you did. Presence expands experience. This is the quiet reward of today. And before you let the day close completely, anchor what you practiced. Like this message as a way of affirming that you chose awareness today. Comment, Amen, as a declaration that you agree to carry this posture forward into movement, not just reflection. And share this message if you know someone who is struggling to return to life after a meaningful pause. Because sometimes what people need most is not motivation, but permission to move gently. 27. December is not about rushing toward the future or clinging to the past. It is about stepping into the present with steadiness. Carry this steadiness with you. It will guide you more reliably than urgency ever could. Listen to me carefully, and do not let the intensity of what I am about to say pass over you, because 27 December is not a gentle day. It is a confrontational one. Not confrontational in chaos, but confrontational in truth. The kind of truth that presses against what you avoid, what you postpone, what you soften so you do not have to face it fully. This is the day when comfort ends and responsibility begins, when reflection is no longer enough and embodiment is required, when the quiet wisdom you received is tested by movement, pressure, interruption, and demand. This is the day when the enemy does not attack you loudly, but strategically, through urgency, through distraction, through emotional overload, through the lie that you must rush back into old speed to survive. And if you are not alert, you will wake up at the end of the day wondering where your peace went and how quickly it slipped through your fingers. I am telling you plainly, 27. December is a battleground day, not because something bad must happen, but because something powerful must be defended. What you gained in stillness will be challenged by motion. What you learned in silence will be tested by noise. What you received in rest will be pressured by responsibility. And this is where most people fail, not because they are weak, but because they underestimate how aggressively the ordinary can erode alignment. You must understand this. Peace does not disappear on its own. It is stolen gradually when you stop guarding it. Alignment does not collapse suddenly. It is abandoned through a series of rushed decisions, emotional reactions, and unconscious habits that feel harmless in the moment. Today exposes those habits. Today reveals where you still default to urgency instead of awareness, reaction instead of discernment, pressure instead of patience. And that exposure is not condemnation, it is opportunity, because what is exposed can be corrected, but what is ignored becomes pattern. On this day, the temptation will be to prove yourself again, to show productivity, to catch up, to compensate, to overexert, to say yes when your spirit says no, to move faster than your clarity allows, and every one of those temptations carries a cost. The cost is not immediate disaster, the cost is fragmentation. Fragmentation happens when your actions move faster than your awareness, when your mouth speaks faster than your discernment, when your body pushes beyond what your spirit can sustain. Fragmentation weakens authority. Authority requires coherence. Coherence is the alignment of thought, emotion, intention, and action. Today demands coherence. This is not the day to multitask your soul. This is not the day to split your attention. This is not the day to numb yourself with noise because pressure feels uncomfortable. Pressure today is not your enemy. Pressure is revealing what still needs strengthening. Do not run from it. Meet it deliberately. Slow your pace when urgency screams. Lower your voice when irritation rises. Pause when reaction feels justified. These are not small acts. They are acts of warfare. You are not fighting people, circumstances, or schedules. You are fighting the erosion of alignment. And alignment must be fought for when movement resumes. Anyone can feel centered in stillness. Only the disciplined remain centered in motion. This is the difference between momentary peace and lasting authority. Today is training you for lasting authority. Authority is not dominance. It is steadiness under pressure. Authority is the ability to remain yourself when circumstances try to pull you back into old versions of you. You will feel that pull today. Old thought patterns will knock. Old emotional reflexes will try to reclaim space. Old narratives about who you must be to succeed will whisper again. Do not panic when they appear. Their appearance does not mean failure. It means they are losing automatic access. You now see them. Seeing breaks power. But seeing alone is not enough. You must choose differently in real time. Choice is the weapon of this day. Choose how you respond when interrupted. Choose how you speak when misunderstood. Choose how you move when rushed. Choose how you rest when tired. Choose how you engage when tempted to disengage. These choices will feel costly in the moment because they require restraint, but restraint today prevents regret tomorrow. Regret always costs more than restraint ever will. You are not being asked to do less. You are being asked to do cleaner. Cleaner movement, cleaner speech, cleaner intention, cleaner boundaries. Clean does not mean easy. It means aligned. And alignment today will feel like resistance to chaos, resistance to haste, resistance to emotional leakage. Emotional leakage is when frustration spills into places it does not belong. When stress bleeds into tone, when anxiety disguises itself as efficiency. Guard against that. Your tone today matters. Your posture today matters. Your pace today matters. Because today sets the rhythm for what follows. If you rush today, you will rush tomorrow. If you ground today, you will ground tomorrow. Rhythm is contagious. It carries forward whether you intend it to or not. That is why this day is intense. Not because of what happens to you, but because of what you choose to carry. You may feel moments where it would be easier to disengage emotionally, to shut down, to move mechanically through tasks just to get through the day. But disengagement creates distance from yourself, and distance weakens discernment. Stay connected, even when tired, especially when tired. Connection does not require energy. It requires attention. Attention keeps you anchored when energy dips. Anchor yourself repeatedly today, through breath, through pause, through silence between actions, through conscious transitions from one task to another. Do not drag the emotional residue of one moment into the next. Clear it. Clearing does not mean suppressing. It means acknowledging and releasing. This practice will feel unfamiliar if you are used to carrying everything forward, but carrying everything forward is how exhaustion accumulates. You are learning to set things down. Setting things down is not quitting. It is wisdom. As the day intensifies, you may feel tested relationally, misunderstood, pressured, pulled into conversations that drain rather than nourish. Choose your engagement carefully. Not every battle deserves your energy. Not every misunderstanding requires correction. Not every opinion requires response. Silence used wisely today is strength, not avoidance. And when you do speak, speak from center, not from edge. Words spoken from the edge carry instability. Words spoken from center carry authority. You know the difference in your body. Trust that sensation. It will guide you better than logic alone. By the end of this day, you will either feel scattered or solid. Scattered comes from reacting. Solid comes from choosing presence again and again. Presence is not passive. It is active restraint. And restraint is power. If you reach the end of this day and feel tired but clear, that is victory. If you feel challenged but grounded, that is success. If you feel pressure but not panic, that is growth. Do not measure this day by productivity. Measure it by coherence. Were you yourself under pressure? Did you remain aware when rushed? Did you choose alignment when it cost you convenience? Those are the metrics that matter today. And before this day fully closes, seal what you practiced. Like this message as a declaration that you chose awareness over autopilot. Comment Amen as a statement of agreement that you will not abandon alignment when movement resumes. And share this message with someone who is struggling to carry peace into pressure. Because many people collapse not because they lack insight, but because they lack practice. Today gave you practice. Carry it forward. 27 December is not a setback. It is a proving ground. Walk it deliberately, and what comes next will not overwhelm you, because you will meet it with steadiness, authority, and an unshakable center. Do not relax your guard yet, because the intensity of 27 December does not fade just because the day moves forward. It deepens, and the deeper it goes, the more precisely it reveals what truly governs you when pressure rises and comfort is removed. This is the day when your internal structure is tested, not by catastrophe, but by accumulation, by small stresses stacking on top of each other, by interruptions that come back to back, by expectations that demand response before you feel ready. And this is exactly how most people lose their ground, not in one dramatic failure, but in a slow surrender to autopilot. Today is not trying to overwhelm you. It is trying to expose whether your peace is conditional or anchored, whether your alignment survives inconvenience, whether your awareness holds when there is no applause, no sacred atmosphere, no quiet room to retreat into. This is where the real work is done. Anyone can feel centered when everything slows down. Only the disciplined remain centered when everything speeds up again. You are being trained right now to recognize the moment when urgency hijacks your body, when the breath shortens, the jaw tightens, the thoughts race, the tone sharpens, because awareness at that exact moment is the difference between authority and regret. Regret is born when reaction replaces intention. Authority is built when intention governs reaction. And today, reaction will try to take over again and again. Old instincts will whisper that you need to respond faster, prove yourself, explain yourself, fix everything immediately. But hear this clearly. Speed is not power. Speed is exposure. Moving faster than your clarity leaves you vulnerable. You do not need to match the world's pace to survive it. You need to hold your own. Holding your own does not mean resisting everything. It means choosing what you carry forward and what you put down. Put down emotional residue immediately. Do not let frustration from one moment bleed into the next. Do not let disappointment poison unrelated conversations. Do not let one person's urgency become your internal emergency. That is how alignment is preserved under pressure. This is not passive spirituality. This is active mastery of self. Self-mastery is not suppression. It is direction. You are directing your attention, your energy, your breath, your response, instead of letting circumstances direct them for you. That is power. That is what is being forged today. You may feel moments of anger, impatience, or sharpness rise unexpectedly, and instead of shaming yourself for it or indulging it, use it as a signal. Signals are information. Information allows adjustment. Adjustment restores alignment. Do not dramatize the signal. Do not judge it. Respond to it. Slow your breath. Lower your voice. Pause your movement. Reclaim your center. This practice, repeated again and again today, is rewiring you at a level deeper than insight ever could. Insight without practice remains theory. Practice under pressure becomes identity. Identity determines destiny. This is why this day matters so much. It is not glamorous. It is not comfortable, but it is decisive. Today, you are deciding, through behavior rather than words, whether you will continue living reactively or move forward deliberately. Reactive living feels familiar because it is fast and emotionally charged. Deliberate living feels slower, quieter, sometimes lonely, but it is stable, and stability is what allows you to build anything that lasts. The enemy of stability today is not temptation, it is fragmentation. Fragmentation occurs when your attention is pulled in too many directions, when you say yes out of pressure, when you multitask your emotions, when you carry unresolved irritation forward. Guard against that fiercely. Fragmentation weakens discernment. Discernment is your compass today. Without it, even good intentions will lead you off course. With it, even difficult moments become strengthening rather than draining. You are not meant to avoid difficulty today. You are meant to meet it differently. Meeting difficulty with awareness transforms it into training. Training produces capacity. Capacity determines how much you can carry tomorrow without breaking. You are expanding capacity now. This expansion will feel uncomfortable because it stretches you beyond habitual limits. But do not confuse discomfort with danger. Growth is uncomfortable. Chaos is dangerous. Today is growth. Growth feels like resistance without collapse. Growth feels like holding steady while something pushes against you. Growth feels like choosing restraint when indulgence would be easier. Growth feels like choosing silence when reaction would feel justified. These choices will not be celebrated. No one will applaud you for them. And that is exactly why they matter. What is practiced without recognition becomes strength that cannot be taken from you. Strength that depends on recognition collapses when recognition disappears. You are building the first kind today. As the intensity of the day continues, you may feel the temptation to check out emotionally, to disengage internally while continuing externally, because disengagement feels like relief, but it is false relief. Disengagement disconnects you from discernment. Discernment keeps you safe. Stay connected, even when tired. Connection does not require energy, it requires intention. Intention is the choice to remain present even when you want to escape. That choice will feel costly today, but it will save you tomorrow. Tomorrow's clarity depends on today's restraint. Tomorrow's peace depends on today's discipline. Tomorrow's confidence depends on today's coherence. Coherence is alignment between what you think, feel, say, and do. Check that alignment repeatedly today. If your mouth is moving faster than your awareness, slow down. If your body is rushing ahead of your clarity, pause. If your thoughts are spiraling, return to breath. These are not coping mechanisms. They are governing tools. Governance of self is what prevents life from governing you. This is the difference between living from center and living from circumstance. Circumstance-led living exhausts you. Center-led living sustains you. You are learning center-led living today. By the end of this day, you will know which path you chose, not by what happened to you, but by how you responded. If you end the day feeling stretched but intact, pressured but present, tired but clear, then you succeeded. That success will not look impressive on the outside, but it will quietly alter the way you walk into everything that follows. Before you close this moment, anchor this intensity so it does not dissipate. Like this message as a conscious act of agreement that you are choosing discipline over drift. Comment, Amen, as a declaration that you will not surrender alignment when pressure rises. And share this message with someone who is struggling to stay grounded under ordinary stress, because this is where most people lose themselves, and this is where you are learning to stand. 27 December is not meant to break you. It is meant to forge you. Carry that understanding with you. Stay alert, stay deliberate, stay anchored. Stay with me until the very end of this moment, because what seals this day is not just understanding, it is commitment, and commitment must be named to take root. The pressure you felt today was not meant to crush you, it was meant to reveal you. to show you who you are becoming when life no longer pauses to accommodate your growth. This is where many people turn back, not because they failed, but because they underestimate the cost of carrying alignment forward when no one is reminding them to. I am telling you plainly, what you practice today will either be strengthened or slowly undone, depending on what you choose next. Awareness without reinforcement fades. Discipline without acknowledgement weakens. That is why you must mark this moment intentionally, not emotionally, but decisively. Right now, I want you to like this message, not as a habit, not as a routine click, but as a statement to yourself that you are choosing consciousness over autopilot, that you are no longer willing to drift through pressure pretending it does not affect you. When you like this, you are anchoring your attention, telling your mind and spirit that this mattered, that today mattered, that the way you responded mattered. Then I want you to comment, Amen, not as a word you type casually, but as a declaration of agreement. Agreement that you will not surrender your center just because life accelerates. Agreement that you will not abandon discipline for comfort. Agreement that you will not let urgency rewrite who you are becoming. Amen means yes. And today you are saying yes to steadiness, yes to restraint, yes to living deliberately instead of reactively. And finally, I want you to share this message, because intensity is not meant to be carried alone, and there are people around you who are collapsing under ordinary pressure simply because no one ever taught them how to remain grounded when life resumes. Sharing is not about spreading content. It is about extending permission to slow down internally, even when the world demands speed, permission to stay aligned without explanation, permission to choose discipline without applause. When you share this, you are not fixing anyone. You are offering them a foothold where they might otherwise slip. Let these actions be the seal on what has been forged today. Do not rush past this closing. Feel the finality of it. Today did not defeat you. Today did not overwhelm you. Today refined you. And refinement is never comfortable, but it is always purposeful. Carry this forward. The days ahead will not get quieter, but you will get steadier. The demands will not disappear, but your reactions will change. The pressure will not stop, but it will no longer control you. This is how real transformation holds, not in moments of calm, but in moments of stress. You have stepped through one of those moments today. Mark it, seal it, like, comment, amen, share, and walk forward knowing that you are no longer the same person who entered this day because you did not retreat, you did not disengage, and you did not surrender your center when it mattered most.